Peters from the Poison Pen, Scottsdale's Mystery Bookstore, bringing you another event in our ever-crowded criminal calendar. We have with us today a celebrated British mystery writer, Minette Walters, who has taken, in just 5 years, a remarkable career. She began with The Ice House, her first mystery, published in 1992. It was the winner of the John Creasy Award, which perhaps, Minette, you could explain, since probably it's not as well known in the America audience as it is to the British.
Well, it's, yes, it's the prize for the best first crime novel, named after John Creasy, crime writer. To be honest, Barbara, when I won it, we used to put it this way, I was shortlisted, and my editor phoned me up and she was so excited. She said, "You've been shortlisted for the John Creasy Award." I had never heard of it. I hadn't got a clue what she was talking about. But I didn't like to sort of say that because she was so excited.
Right.
So I said, "That's wonderful." And it took me about 24 hours to find out what it was. But it's a great prize to win because it puts you on the first rung of the ladder.
Well, and it's a great compliment, I think, as well. Was there, in fact, some controversy in England last fall about the John Creasy Award?
Oh yes, it's a great example. Well, they've made errors over it, and criminal errors, I would say, seeing as how we're talking about crime writing. For the last 4 years, in fact, since I won it, it's only been awarded once properly, insofar as you have to have never written a novel before, any novel. It can't be that you've written, this is just your first crime novel. It has to be the first novel you have ever written.
Ah, okay.
And I think the year after me, they nominated somebody who'd already, or they gave the prize to someone who'd already written quite a few novels, but never written a crime novel.
That's true. It was Janet Ivanovich who had written romance novels.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. And then 1 year they did award it properly to an American, I think, but I can't remember now who it was. But then 2 years in a row they refused to award it. 1 year they drew up a shortlist, then said that none of the books were good enough to give a prize to, which I found quite extraordinary. And last year they wouldn't even draw up a shortlist. So we had a sort of revolt.
Did you?
Yes. Some of the crime writers revolted, and we, led by Maxim Jakubowski of Murder One in Charing Cross Road, and he put together with all the reviewers, crime reviewers in England, Times reviewer Marcel Berlind, Mail, Frankie Fifield, Val McDermott, Manchester Evening News, and many others, Mike Ripley, and they put together a shortlist of their favourite first authors. And they had no trouble coming up with a shortlist of 6. And they then voted on them between I think there was something like 7 or 8 reviewers who did it. They voted on the winner, who was Christopher Brookmeyer, and asked me to present the prize. And it was called the First Blood Award, which I thought was great. I'd love to have won the First Blood Award. And hopefully they'll keep doing it, even if the Crime Writers Association gets its act together and starts to award it. He said, "Tell you what made us so angry is that publishers need an incentive to publish new authors."
True.
And what you're looking at with the John Creasy is people who've never written a novel before. This is their first attempt at a novel. If if you have a prize which says if you win this, you will get quite a lot of publicity, the publisher will and the author will. The publisher then has an incentive to take on a new writer. If the Crime Writers Association keeps saying, no, none of them are good enough to shortlist, none of them are good enough to award a prize to, what are the publishers going to say, especially in the new climate of publishing where the subsidy is gone with the net book agreement? They're going to say, we will always play safe. Don't let's go with the new writers, too dangerous, too difficult. We'll play safe because we know the Gold Dagger will be awarded. I don't think they'd ever dare not award that one. So I think it's very, very important that any prize that's awarded to a new author stands up and is awarded so that the publishers keep taking those risks.
That's an excellent point. I had looked at it from a standpoint earlier, too, of thinking, A, it subverts the point of John Creasy, which was to recognize good writing, and B, I think it's dreadfully insulting to all those first authors to say, none of you can cut the mustard, so to speak.
Yeah.
Laurie King, an interview that we have done on the Criminal Calendar program earlier this year, was chairman of the First Novel Award in the American award tier, the Edgar Award. And we had talked about this briefly because it wasn't clear to me that she might not follow the same path, that there was some chance that maybe the Edgar Allan Poe Awards Committee, which is equal to the, in America, to the British Crime Writers Association's Dagger Awards, might decide to take that route. And I think it's, I mean, there's no point in having a prize if it's not awarded. But I agree that the messages that it sends are very bad.
Yeah, but you see, the argument has to be, what are they comparing these writers with? You see, I think the problem with the John Creasy was that 3 years in a row it was won by Patricia Cornwell, Walter Mosley, and then me. So they had these 3 years where they were very fortunate. They by chance, good luck, whatever, they picked 3 people who went on to be bestsellers. Now, actually, if you look at the 10, 15 years before that, they had Paula Gosling, but actually quite a lot of the other names have kind of sunk without trace. You know, in other words, they didn't make it into the big time. That's not to say they aren't very good writers.
Right.
It's just that they didn't make it into the bestseller list. And I think they've sort of got this idea now that what they're looking for is another Patricia Cornwell, Walter Mosley, or Minette Walters, forgetting that what the job they have to do is to look at all the first authors in any year and pick the 3 best for the shortlist, because we only have 3 on our shortlist. Pick the 3 best, and then the best of those 3 for the winner. You can't look back. It'd be like saying, oh, we won't have the Olympics this year, or whenever, because, you know, that none of the athletes are as good as they were 10 years ago. It's ridiculous. It has to be, they are simply comparing the writers that exist in that year. And to say, no, we're not going to award the prize, unbelievable.
Well, I thought so too, and I did like the solution to it. I thought that the First Blood was excellent. We gave it a good deal of publicity in our own publications because I was, like you, indignant at the whole thing. And it may, in fact, as you said earlier today on another subject, have a silver lining, and that it may have provoked still an adjunct award that will bring more publicity and you know, good things to authors. How nice that they asked you to present it.
Well, I thought it was charming, and it largely because I was the last English person to win it. Because unlike the Edgar, the John Creasy is awarded to any nationality, whereas I think with the Edgar First Novel Award, it has to go to an American, doesn't it?
I think so, by definition. I think it's Best First Mystery by an American novelist.
And we're slightly more generous. We offer it to anybody who writes a good first novel. And I was the last English person to win it. No, but I was thrilled and enjoyed it. I did a rather, controversial speech, which...
You did?
Yes, because I'm very angry about it. And
oh, you mean then? I thought I was thinking of your acceptance speech for the Creasy, and I thought, how could you have made that?
When I awarded the First Blood. Yes, no, it annoys me. I think it's a poor thing to do.
Well, you then jumped the pond, as we might say, and in 1940, your next novel, which was The Sculptress, you did win an Edgar Award, but it wasn't the Best First Novel Award, it was the Best Novel Award. That was, I assume, also thrilling in the sense that now you're getting recognition from a different body of crime writers saying, here's the best. Well,
it was, yes, it was. It was staggering. Largely because it was only the 2nd book I'd ever written. And I think the greatest thrill, though, was that it was awarded to me the night that South Africa was having its elections. And because I viewed that as one of the most wonderful events of the decade, it was very thrilling to receive the prize on the same night.